One of the reasons people get really put off by ethical fashion is just how expensive it can be, and I totally get it, which is why I made this video. If you're buying ethical clothes, you'll find that basic cuts are always cheaper than some embellishments on them, and that's because the people who put the embellishments on those clothes actually get paid for it. Compared to when you go to a fast fashion shop, and you'll often find that the cheapest one always have like a bit more going on them, and it kind of makes you wonder, like, how? Even if you're using machines to do something, surely you're using more resources, no? Anyway, my point is, if you don't want to buy something that somebody was forced to make, but then you don't have the money to buy ethically either, an option is always to buy the basic cuts from an ethical brand and then add your own personal touches on it. It's a great way to get creative, and just because you've made it yourself, it's just that little bit more special. For example, I have this very, very old pair of shorts that I customised when I was like 13. I just like put studs on the pockets. If you look at it, it's just a really basic pair of shorts, but with that it adds a bit of character to it, personality, and it, you know, I was just having fun. I didn't even know what ethical meant at the time. So yeah. There is also this channel called the People Boat Vintage channel. I don't know, I can't remember what they're called, but I will link it down below. And I saw this DIY t-shirt that they made, and it was basically a really plain t-shirt, black t-shirt, and they cut out a cross in the back, and it looked so cool. So that's totally something that I'm going to be doing this summer, and buy some ethical shirts and just like do some cutouts in them and see what happens. Hopefully I don't ruin anything. Yeah, try not to ruin it, because that would be wastage, I suppose. I know this is about being on a budget and all, but if you're willing to invest a little bit, you can always get a sewing machine. So I bought this. It's a Brother sewing machine. It was only £70, and I thought it'd be a great way to like learn how to be a bit more creative. Another thing you could do is to support your local seamstress or tailor, because if you have somebody around your neighbourhood who does this for a living and they have affordable prices, I think it's a great way of supporting the economy, and to also get clothes by somebody who you know. You can get some really nice ethical fabrics from stores like Offset Warehouse, where I think it's like £15 per metre or something like that. So yeah, research into fabric, see if you can buy a fabric and send it to your tailor, your neighbourhood tailor, and see if they'll do it for you for an affordable price. That's always an option. Buying classic, timeless pieces is one of the things that you can do to shop on a budget. And no, it's not going to be cheap, but if you buy really good quality and classic pieces for a bit more money, it will last you for a really long time, and you're going to wear it over and over again. It's totally going to be worth the money. Unless you start being an ethical shopper at a very young age, there's a very high chance that you have a lot of unethical clothing items already, which is the case for me. Before the horror of unethical fashion washed over me, I used to be one of those shopaholics. Not really, but I do have a lot of clothing items that are not from ethical brands, and a lot of them are very bad quality. So obviously I'm not going to be throwing away all my unethical clothes. That would just be pure wastage. What I try to do instead is, because I know they're not made of good quality materials, which is why they were so cheap, I try to take good care of them. By taking a few extra steps to keep them in good condition, I can try to get the most wear out of them. I am planning to make a video on how to keep your clothes into good condition. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Exchanging with your friends and family is another great way of getting new clothes without having to spend any money on them. If your friend has clothes that they want to get rid of, or like they're bored of them, giving it to you is a great way of repurposing them. For example, this shirt I'm wearing right now is my mum's, and she had it when like before I was born, I think, and I love it. It's like really vintagey. It's got like this gold threads and like really strange, weird details on it. And I don't think the camera here does it justice. I've got a blog article with more pictures of this outfit, so if you want to go have a look, I'll link it down below. But my point is, friends and family are a great way of getting clothes without ruining the environment or having to buy new ones from fast fashion shops. So it's definitely something that you want to consider. Shopping secondhand. Yeah, you've probably heard about it a million times before, and some of you are probably completely put off by the idea of wearing somebody else's clothes. But honestly, if you give it a freeze clean or a hot wash, it's perfectly fine, and you'd be doing nature such a massive favour. Every year we send millions and millions of clothing items to the landfills, and by shopping secondhand you could be making that little bit of a difference. And you might think that your tiny decisions have no impact on the bigger scheme of things, but you have to remember that's how big movements are born, out of small actions having a cumulative effect. It's incredible some of the stuff that you can find in charity shops or vintage stores. I know vintage stores can sometimes be a bit overpriced just because they have the word vintage in them, but you know, it is a lot more curated with vintage shops. I'll admit to that. Like, they will carefully select the clothes that they have and put it on the shelf. So if you're into the vintage style, vintage shops are definitely for you. Whereas with charity shops, it's more like you have to really dive into the deep end and really go for the racks of clothes to find that hidden gem that will make your day. For example, like this top I found in a vintage store. It's like white, it's got frills on it, and it's kind of like really nice for work. You put your hair in a bun and stuff. It looks really profesh. And this shirt, it's really casual, and it's just got this logo of Armani jeans on it. I know some people are not really into wearing clothes that has logos on it, but I mean, I love it. I love the cut of it. I love how cool it looks, the colour, everything. Just love it. Have I said the word love enough? No. You know, charity shops are like a triple whammy. You're buying cheap clothes, it's ethical, plus you're contributing towards the charity that the charity shop is involved in. So you can't go wrong unless you buy clothes which are not well made. So yeah, you still have to like keep an eye out, you know, when you're buying from charity shops. Do pay attention to what you're buying. I know thrifting can be really hard because you have to find something that not only you like, but that also fits your body. So, but you know, you can always use that sewing machine that I showed, you know, try to fix it to your size, or like just making a hem or something to fix it is always a great idea. There's this girl on YouTube, I think she's quite famous, she's got like millions of subscribers, but she does this thing where she'll go thrifting for items in vintage stores or charity shops or whatnot, and like she'll buy it and I'll be like, oh, what is that? What did you buy? And then you know, and then she'll like transform it into something so incredible. It's crazy. She'll like turn the most horrible of things into the most amazing of things. You probably already know who she is. Her name is Kalipa. I don't know how to say things, but I'll link it down below. She's really famous on YouTube, and she does those really amazing clothes transformations, and there's nothing more than that I admire than a person who has like a really good eye for seeing the potential in things. You know, they look at things and they see so much value in there and so much potential in things that I would probably look at and be like, oh, that's garbage. Yeah. There are some great online platforms you can buy second-hand from. So you can do it all online, stuff like Depop, or I think even Oxfam does it. So you can just sit online, put your size in, and even like style, what kind of style you're looking for. You buy it and they ship it to you. So what a great time to live in. I've always been a great fan of tees with like cool sayings on them or cute designs on them. They make great everyday wear, and they're also a great way of showing your personality or aspects of your identity or like things that you believe in. And they're also very, very hard not to buy because they're usually like £10 if not less on Amazon. And I recently discovered that there is a way of going around this, and by that I mean to go for an ethical printing company. So if you're quite the wordsmith, or you're quite good with design, or you use software like Illustrator or Photoshop, a great affordable way of kitting your wardrobe is to make your own designs for your t-shirts and to get them printed for an ethical brand, an ethical printing company, sorry. So I started doing my research, and I basically found this company online called Shirtworks, and on their website they say they're a living wage employer and that they're organic certified. So I sent them a design that I liked, and they came back to me with a mock-up of the t-shirt, and I finalised it, and it's now on the way here. I think it's been shipped. So I don't actually have it on me to show you, but once I do, I will post it on Instagram so you can have a look and you can tell me what you think. The total cost for it was £21, so that's including shipping and VAT, which I thought was brilliant for a t-shirt that's organic, and you know, that was made using fair labour. So here you go, those were my tips for having an ethical wardrobe on a budget, and I hope you found it insightful or helpful in any way, shape or form. Let me know down in the comments below which one of those tips you thought were relevant to you, or you thought you could implement in your shopping habits easily.